the area that I'm at right now, a lot of times, like when I go out to these locations, I'm not on some hiking trail or back road, or a lot of where I go is like in the bush, right? I'll go from where I park my truck a good half mile, sometimes 2 miles into the trees. Um, for me, and this is just my opinion, but I believe that that's, if we're going to get any results in our research or our investigative research on Bigfoot, I think we need to go out there where they, right in the middle of it, right into the thick of things. And I know that's not for a lot of people, but like I said, it's just, this is my opinion. A lot of people do, the driving and the ATVs and stuff like that. And for me, I let them know with my voice that I'm there, and I don't want to take a lot of noise pollution with me. Like I said, it's just my opinion. I'm not looking down or anything on people that do these things in different ways, but for me, I believe that I need to go out there. This is looking west, south behind me, east there, and north behind the camera. But where I'm at is where I've just left the camera in my last upload, which is the Seven Creeks location. This is still part of Seven Creeks. I am about 2.5, 3 miles east of where I dropped the cam, right? And it's just a back road. There's no way out of this. The gravel ends here behind me, and it's kind of just a little field. There's a trail back there, and it goes. I've walked that all the way down, and it kind of goes down into that same muskeg that I visit at the other location. I can meet up with it going south of me right now, and I have on a couple occasions. But here, I get a lot of responses to wood knocks and to whistles on this side, and I'm not sure what that means. I sometimes wonder if there's not extended families. I don't know. Like we're learning as we go here. I don't know if that's what they do. If they live close to each other, like siblings with their mate and his family. Maybe they do, right? Maybe they are closer knit than we know. Because this group seems a little bit different than what I'm experiencing 3 miles to the west. And I don't know, maybe there's something different in these locations. Maybe there are special places. Maybe they're more protective of certain areas. It's questions that I have that I don't really have answers to. It's just one of those things. Like it's only 3 miles away, but yet it feels different, and they respond different. And here I'm gonna do a few wood knocks and whistles, and we'll just sit and listen. There is the game trail here. I did bring a trail camera, so I'm gonna have one on this side of Seven Creeks, and that other one's sitting there right now. 3 days. 3 days now it's been there, and I'll leave this one here for a week. Lots of elk on this side. Actually, when I pulled up here, and I don't know, about 300 yards to the south of me, right here behind me, beautiful big bull elk kind of was standing there, and I scrambled to grab my camera, and of course he took off into the trees. I missed him. But there are a lot of elk on this side, so see what happens when there's game or when something else triggers a camera. This is when I've captured a lot of the audio. Like the camera's turned on. It could be a squirrel, it could have been an elk or a deer, and off in the distance or near to them, I'm getting audio, right? Which is, and I still believe that the Bigfoot are smart enough to stay out of the front of these cameras. You can hear them behind the camera, and my camera's moving, and you can hear the shuffling and the effort at trying to untie the strap that's tied to the tree, and there's nothing there, right? I don't see. Whatever this is knows enough to stay behind the lens, and they would be the only ones out there that could have that intelligence, right? The elk and the deer just walk across it, or they walk towards it, and every other little critter out there. Just, they go about their business, and if they happen to trigger the camera, so be it. But whatever this is, three or four times now I've got footage. The camera's running, and you can hear whatever this is there, but it's behind the camera. And of course they see the IR light, and they don't like it, right? The last video I uploaded, my camera died. Right when I found the bone in the gifting bowl. That was pretty amazing for me. I first put it in the backpack, and I went back to the gifting bowl to put the treats in there and come back again. I was hit with, like, I got the most intense high-pitched ringing in my ear, and I went to get up to look at my camera. I was going to grab it and move it. I was going to face the muskeg with the camera and just shoot over there for a bit, because I was hearing noises back in there, right? Sound like walking. But again, like I said in the last video, there was so much other noises, and the cows were starting to make a lot of noise, and you just can't. It's just hard to tell what you're hearing. But anyway, long story short, my battery's dead. I tried to turn it on, dead. It would come on for about a second and die, and I thought, did the ringing in my ear and the battery being drained, were they a result of something? Because I've been hit before with, I'm not sure what they use, whether it's, I'm not sure what it is. I'll explain it. And what it feels like is your electricity. The hair even on your arms will stand up, and I get a high-pitched ringing, and it's usually always in my left ear. I don't know why my left ear, but it's, well, almost 10 for 10. It's in my left ear, and it's right deep, and it's high-pitched to the point where I want to pull away from it, and my battery died, right? But it was after I picked up the bone out of the gifting bowl, so I'm not sure how to piece all that together, or if each one has anything to do with each other, right? There's just so many unanswered questions. But that's what happened. Those things all happened one after another, like within seconds of each other. So it very well could be a result of something. I don't know what else in the back of the woods that could do something like that, unless there's things back there that I don't know about, which I'm sure there is, right? Imagine there are things that maybe I sense as well, and I could have mistook it for a Bigfoot, and it may not be Bigfoot, right? Just another one of those things that we don't know. We just don't know enough about a lot of this stuff, and we got to, you're kind of drawn to make assumptions about a lot of things because you just don't have the evidence, or it's always going to be that way, though. Even if they were to capture a Bigfoot, they still aren't going to know unless they could communicate with the being and he tells you, right? And I'm using that camera right now. When I got home, it was dead. I charged it up all night, and I'm using it right now, and it's fully charged still as I'm sitting here. And I don't understand it quite yet, but something happened there when I took the bone and when I was handling the bone, because I don't know if you noticed my hand shaking, because I was getting that electricity feeling, and it was making me shake. I couldn't even control that. Just for those that have never experienced it, you can't control those things, and a lot of times you feel like you just want to say back off, right? Like stop, but you're not even sure what you're saying stop to, right? Because you can't see anything, but you feel it. So yes, something happened to my camera. My camera's good. It's fine. Nothing's going on with the interior mechanisms of the camcord. Put the camera away and just sat on a log for a bit and listened. And maybe that's what they wanted. That was one of my thoughts too. Maybe they just wanted me to put everything away and just sit. And I did. I sat for about 15, 20 minutes back there and drank the rest of my coffee and just listened. And it was quiet, peaceful. I never did get the ringing in my ear again, but it was nice just to sit there and listen. And maybe that's what they wanted, right? For me to just stop, for just to be. I do that quite often at home. At the farm, I don't always take my camera with me and any recording equipment. I sometimes just take my walking stick and my dog, and we go. We go walking, and we go back in the bush, and there's places where you can sit near the creek, or there's a really, or the beaver dams, and there's just places, there's beautiful places back there just to sit in, just sit there with nature and listen. Which I think might have been, I'm just going on a feeling, right? It might have been what they wanted. And so my experiences on this side, on the east side of Seven Creeks, it's always been different. It's very different. And like I said, I've experienced that electrical burst or whatever I got there at the muskeg here. And I just want to share a little bit of a story. That was why I wanted to stop here too. My sister and I, we used to come right here where we are because the road ends, and we would park. And she has quite a bit of arthritis, so she can't really go far or go very far from the vehicle. And we would just stop here, and we would call moose. And it's just something she loved to do. We weren't shooting with a gun or anything. We were shooting with a camera. But that was it, right? Just to see if we could get them to come out, and the fall is just a wonderful time of the year, which we just, I think most of my family enjoyed that season. But we pulled up here one time, right where I am. We were getting all the gear out, and I had my cameras with me, and I was going to set my cameras up in the audio and I had a mic there for audio, and we heard a big whoop straight this way of me. She heard it, and she just froze. She kind of got a little freaked out because we know what those are, right? And she said, "Were you recording?" And I said, "No, I haven't even got that far yet," right? So I quickly hurried and got my gear ready, and while I'm doing that, we hear wood knocks, and all of a sudden we could hear a commotion in the trees, like it was like as if whatever this was coming towards us. And we were hit. Everything electrical in the SUV just boom went off. The alarm system, the horn was honking, the lights were blinking, and my cameras shut off. One camera shut off, and the other one was just full of static, and the audio screwed. We sat there for a good half an hour, and the audio was just all messed up. Didn't wreck the equipment though, because when I got home, I'm still using some of it, right? So I think they are able to, I don't know, it's got to be something electrical, right? Because it affected everything electrical, all the batteries and the vehicle, right? And ourselves, like you feel that, you feel your hair stand on end, and like you're surrounded with some kind of electrical field. We've experienced it a few times now over the years, in circumstances like this, right? Not at, I don't think I've ever experienced it at home, like on the property. So here, twice now we've been hit with that from this side. And I don't know, maybe it's a different group. I have no idea. But so this is a little bit different energy over here, and I'm not sure if it's, because it's a different group, or maybe there's an area here that maybe they protect, or maybe it's just something special on this side. I just don't have the answers, but they definitely act differently over here. So a little bit more aggressive. and this, when I decided to actually go to the other side, to the west side of Seven Creeks, my sister was kind of concerned because of what we've experienced here, right, with this clan. And she said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Well, we'll see, right? We're not going to know unless we try." And here we are, right? The other side, it's been pretty passive and calm. They're there. I hear the wood knocks. You guys were witness to them mocking my whistle and my hello. It sounds like he was that. Well, it sounds like a Bigfoot saying hello, right? It's very deep and big and such bass in the responses. So and it sounded very much like me saying hello. And we know they mock. They're able to mock things. For those that have been following research and a lot of these other channels and Bigfoot researchers and stuff like that, they all know and they've all experienced them mocking, right? Mocking you, mocking birds, mocking sounds. The ones at home I know mock my animals. I've heard my animals with me 3 miles away from the farm, right next to me in the bush in the middle of nowhere. I've heard one of my South African Boer goats. And I'm like, there's no goats out here. I'm 3 miles away from home. So, and it's almost perfect, right? To the point where it almost freaked me out. I started looking for, like, I was thinking, did one follow me here? Of course they didn't. I know they're all penned up and they're locked up in their pens and their pasture fences. But anyway, long story short, these ones here, if it's the same clan, they act differently on this side. It could be a different group. Maybe the edge of their territory. I don't know. There are structures back in here. My plan is to go in there a little ways and film some for you. And do a couple wood knocks. I haven't used my little wood knocker yet. My tree knocker that I made. And we'll try that. And I will set up a camera. So let's do this. Check that out, you guys. I need to look at the bottom there. If there's no root base to those, they were leaned. Okay. Just gonna check.